Hey everybody, we're back with another installment, another performance section, if you would, for your Nitro Fortec brushless conversion. In this segment, I'll cover wheelie bars. This is a method that I've come up with. I've tried various types of wheelie bars, but this wheelie bar setup that I'm going to show you today is kind of like my most simple, most effective way of keeping the car down and planted. I've came up with this a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever I first started putting real power in the cars. When I started out with the car, I only had like a 3S setup, but eventually when I went to 6S and the car being on 22 volts, I just really found a need for having that wheelie bar being real helpful with your blowovers, your hard launches, stuff like that. One thing that I do have now that I've come a long way with is a front weight, and I do have those available, but I'm getting them cut right now as we speak. So I'm only down to like 3 of them right now. So they slip right over the front, and they do a pretty good job of keeping the car planted with those 7 ounces being balanced out. It just makes the car a whole lot more drivable. But you can drive without a front weight if you get the right position on your wheelie bar to do so. So to cover that, this is the wheelie bar that I bought. It's the Jado Traxxas wheelie bar. Part number is 5584. And that wheelie bar is, I pay like $10 for it. And it comes with a little instruction on installing it into the Jado and stuff like that, which you won't really need. But we also have 4x12 socket head Allen screws, and I also used 4mm lock nuts. So you get 2 of those Allen screws, 2 of those lock nuts, and you should be good. We have the Traxxas screws. These are like the engine mount screws. I don't know the exact part number on those right now, but they're just your simple Traxxas Fortec or Traxxas engine mount screws. We have 2 of those, and this is the bracket. I found this bracket a long time ago, just shopping in Home Depot, I believe it was, and I was just looking for something to mount that Jado wheelie bar to my car. Well, I found this bracket, and it turned out to be actually super great at doing that. What it is, it's a Stanley corner brace, and it's a 57 by 19. And that 57 by 19 bracket allows you to mount that wheelie bar, this wheelie bar, onto your Fortec. I'll show you how it looks. It comes with some screws. You won't even need those. But that bracket lines directly up with the holes that are in the back of the Nitro Fortec for sway bar use. Let's slide this on around here so you can see better. I already have one mounted up for you to check out. But you take the 2 Traxxas screws and you place your bracket there, and as you see, those holes align perfectly to bolt right up to the back of your car there. And that serves as a good foundation for your wheelie bar, because this bracket is bendable. It is bendable, so you can adjust your wheelie bar up and down as you need it during the time that you're running it. So with that being said, having that on, as you can see here, I put a hole there, and that hole that I drilled in there is just a 5/32 drill bit, and that hole allows me to line the wheelie bar up. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, when you have your wheelie bar here, and this is it right here, I just snip those ends off. They come with the tabs in them, like I said, to mount on the Jado and whatever you have there. So I just snip those ends off, and what I use to do that with is one of my trusty tools. I got this from Big Lots, and I only use it to snip like plastic parts and things that I have, because I just found that it's general heavy duty use for shearing vines and stuff like that. It's great for working on these plastic parts and stuff. So I use those snips to snip these corners off. if you will. And I just kind of scribed it, kept it straight, and snipped them off. And those are them. But just general use, just go down and get you one of these guys, because just like these just common plastic parts here, you can snip them. You see just how fast, and I mean, it makes a clean cut. It's just short work. Just, it's just short work. It's hard to beat them, and I use them a lot. But I use those snips to snip the corner pieces off of this wheelie bar. Okay, once I snip the corner pieces off, and like I said, I did have a hole here. You'll have to drill this hole out with a 5/32 bit. So I drilled that hole out, and that allowed me to align the wheelie bar. So that center hole right there that I have is kind of like non-functional. But if you can see kind of these other little holes here, I don't know if that's just something in the casting, the plastic casting where they make the mold that it just goes through. But it was one of these holes sitting just like that. So whenever you get it, you'll see the hole. You'll be able to drill straight through. Just drill straight through with your 5/32 drill bit. And then when I did that, that allowed me to put the bracket on. And you want to line the bracket up as straight as you can, because if you just take this bracket and put it on there and drill holes, it's not going to be straight. So your wheelie bar may sit crooked. So I lined it up best as I could. Then I just tightened it down. I took one of these screws and put it in as a prelim. Just put it in and tighten it down. I tighten it down to the mount. So once you got that on there and got it tightened down to the mount, these holes will stay straight. Those holes will. So they'll stay straight and allow you to be able to drill straight down into the plastic. And a 5/32 bit will leave you just enough space in there where they can kind of screw in and hold steady there. So with that being said, we just drill those holes, and we take it then, because this is semi straight right now, but when you get it, it's kind of cocked up in the back. So to straighten that out, I found just heating it up a little bit. I just held it over the stove. It got kind of a little runny right there because I held it too close. But you just hold it over the stove for a couple minutes and get you something like a book, a good thick book, and just flatten it down a little. It'll still curve out a little bit, but you don't need that curve as much as you want the wheelie to come on. You really don't want the wheelie to come on in these cars like a Jado, where you just trying to get a good bit of air and see that you really don't want any kind of air to get up under your car. So we got that done, and like I said, once we mounted it, we got our 4x12 screws here, and we're ready to mount it. So we're just taking it and we're gonna mount it here. Let's flip this over. Let's flip the car. And as you can see, this bracket really sits above the chassis, so it's not really scraping the ground. Once it gets mounted, these socket head screws, if you can see them now, they'll sit straight off with that. I mean, once those are in there, they're straight. So you don't have to worry about this really sparking the ground or stopping your performance. As you can see, I want you to see if that's flat. That's not any kind of interference there. So it's flat. So we're just gonna mount it up here to get that. And like I said, this will kind of screw in freely by itself. I can just hand tighten this down, but it's screwing in there. Screw those in like that. Now, once I get it screwed in there, you want to kind of adjust it a little bit, because those holes that are in here are actually bigger than the 5/32 holes that you're going to drill out. But no problem, just adjust it where those Allens sit right back on those holes. And we take it then and we just tighten it down. We put our 4mm lock nuts on the other side, and we just tighten it down. And you have to do it in this order if you don't want it to be kind of tricky to get off. building this wheelie bar and trying to attach it to there is just kind of funny. I'll show you when I turn it over. It's just kind of funny to get your Allen in there. So I would advise just doing it this way, taking it off and putting it on. It makes it a whole lot less complicated trying to do. So we got it there. Let's take my lock nut and tighten this on down. Tighten on down here. And you don't have to just tighten it down real tight. It's plastic, and plastic parts tend to give a little bit quicker than metal parts do. They don't have the tolerance of metal, but you see we got it there, and it's straight pretty good. So we have it there. Let's move this out of the way. And there you have it. It's on. It's ready. Functional. These wheelie bars I've been doing for a long time, and like I said, they're just quick, easy remedies to having something functional on your car that'll protect you from blowovers, things like that. They do have the upgraded wheels. I don't like running the plastic wheels. The plastic wheels are fine, they work, but they just wear down faster. And when you have a car that plants, you really kind of want it, to plant and run smooth as it's wheeling. When this thing is on the lift, you want those wheels to roll as good as they can. Now they do have the other part numbers here that I have. They do have the aftermarket wheels. So the aftermarket wheels there is 5186A. That's the blue ones, and they're aluminum with the blue anodizing on them. And we have a 5186. They're red with the red anodizing, and they come with the Traxxas ball bearings on the inside, and they spin way more freely than these stock plastic ones do. Now I have taken and put it take the plastic ones and put rubber tires on there and CA them to them, and they work a whole lot better because you just got that rubber that's going to meet the road. Just that hard plastic meeting the road is not a practical application, I think, for the type of performance that these cars do, because they're way faster than a J-Do or a T-Max for that matter anyway. And we just have it like that, and that's your setup. And it just, it's a cool look. It's a cool look, but it's also functional. And it might just be one of the only telltale signs that anyone racing you will see. It might just be seen too late. But check that out, how it looks up under there. I mean, you can't get any more tricker than that. Just like I say, a simple modification on a $10 wheelie bar for a stadium truck. Well, that's all for now. Catch you later.